Okay, I'm just on a tear with these bicycles. I am making bicycle videos left and right because what happened is I had these bikes for 10 years and I really hadn't done anything to them, just lubricated the chain basically, and we go on rides in the park and there's nice paths around. And so I decided to replace the chain. I saw some wear on some of the spokes, on some of the gears, I'm sorry. So I started getting into it more and more and cleaning and getting all the grease off of it, you know, where I made my mistakes with putting too much lube on the chain and all that stuff. So anyway, now I'm at the front of the vehicle, the front pedals, the crank, if you will, and I purchased these two tools. It's 40 bucks, 20 each, let's say, using round numbers. This one I got $5 off because it was an open package. So, you know, $5 is $5. I didn't have a 22 by 1, and making fine threads on the lathe is extremely difficult, and I didn't have any hardware where I could make one, so I got $5 off, so what the heck, I just bought it. Now you can buy these tools separately instead of getting it with the handle on there, but you know, it was a discount. CCP-22 crank puller, and this works on Shimano. But as you can see, it's a very fine thread, and I just didn't want to deal with finding a bolt and making one. You know, easy enough. And this takes the pedal off, the crank of the pedal. Then in order to take the bearing out of the centerpiece, you're going to need a special tool, and let's open that guy up. So I'm trying to get it so I can put it back in. I can also put this in my toolbox someplace nice. They make these in different sizes and styles, so you need to be careful and make sure you purchase the correct one. Oh, that's pretty nice. That's for the ratchet, 3/8 ratchet to go in there. The ball will lock into there. Then it also says you can use 32 millimeter to go right there. So if you have 32 millimeter, boy, that's really tight for 32 millimeter. It said use a socket though, actually, is what it said. Or 1 inch. You can use a 1 inch right here. And 3/8, and like I said, the ball goes on there. You can put your ratchet or breaker bar on there to take the center bearing assembly out. It's usually 1 unit. They're extremely inexpensive. I'm going to see if I can take mine apart, maybe clean it up, put it back together. The tricky part is getting tension on the bearings, the cup and the cone, or is it the cup and the race, I'm sorry. Get the cup and the race on the ball bearings at just the right tension so that it runs smoothly without binding. So that's really the whole trick with dealing with free bearings as opposed to sealed bearings. Yeah, whatever. All right, let's see if we can get the pedal off. Really, the The pedal's easy to get off. Let's get the crank off. Okay, so what size is that? Well, I have a 5/16 and an 8mm, so let's take a look. I'm saying that the 8mm has less play than the 5/16. Can you even see that? So I'm saying 8mm. And this is gonna be the normal lefty-loosey right-hand thread here, if I can get this thing going. So really it's the camera that's in the way. Let's see if I can, there we go. Yeah, my bike is up in the air is what the issue is. Take my little spacer out there. See what I mean? Alright, I'll get the bolt out. Alright, it's finally spinning freely. Alright, let's get this tool in here. Should go in nice and easy. Fine threads are very difficult to cross thread in my opinion. And we'll just crank it down if I can. And oh, by the way, it does clear the pedal, so I'm not having to remove the pedal first. Let's crank this guy down, except that it is a ways to go. Alright, there we are, finally tight. Alright, I apologize. I was doing things I hate to admit to, but I actually used a cheater bar. So I was really struggling with this thing. You see, I put a piece of wood in here to lock it down, and I'm finally getting some action here on the assembly. Let me get my piece of wood out of here. Wow, I was really struggling with that. It just would not move. So if you have an old bike, you might want to get the other tool. They have a tool like this, only it's like a bolt inside of a bolt, for lack of a better explanation. But as you can see, hopefully I'm on camera. Let me see. Yeah, I was banging on it, you know, trying to jolt it loose to get, you know, this surface off of this surface. You know, it was just bound on there. So let's see how the other side goes. Alright, took the chain off here, and we'll take the bolt out. They weren't too vicious. And we'll see if we can pull this guy out of here. Alright, I'll show putting the tool in, because actually it's pretty easy. Get that snugged up. Put this guy in. I think I might invest in a bolt here. We'll see how vicious this one turns out to be. Okay, again with the cheater bar. I really don't like using cheater bars. So, So this is what I'm doing. I'm holding the pedal bar, and tightening it down with the cheater bar and hitting the camera. But it's going. Well, I'm sure all the bike mechanics are probably cursing me. But you know, cheater bar, wood brace, all kinds of crap, everything to get these off. Holy cow. Well, there you go. That's what happens when they're on there for 10 years. Alright, we'll get the chain out of the way here. And now we got to go to the other side to take it off. It actually doesn't feel too bad. Okay, step number 1 is, I don't know if this screw goes up all the way, but this cable guide is held on with a screw, and that may go up in there high enough to interfere with the removal of the cartridge. So I'm just gonna, well, I think I'll remove it and put it aside. I could keep it right there, but if it falls out, I might not notice and it'll go into oblivion and I'll never find it, so I'm just going to put it in a safe place. Alright, let me generate some more hate from bicycle mechanics. I am going to use an impact wrench. I mean, I tried and tried and tried with my 32 millimeter, the large size here, 32 millimeter socket, 32 millimeter wrench, and I just could not get it off. So I'm going with the impact gun, and let me make sure I have this in the correct direction because it is normal, meaning righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. So let me get this sucker on here that I could not get off. Get it in there nice, flush, solid, and pull the trigger. Golly day, I should have shown you how much I struggled to get that thing off of there. It would not budge. Impact wrench. Yay, Milwaukee tools. I like Milwaukee tools. I was introduced to Milwaukee tools and industry, so I'm kind of biased. Alright, now I would say this is clockwise to loosen it. In other words, it's left-hand thread. So let's see if I'm correct here. Why is it giving me a bunch of crap here? There we go. Yeah, I had to change my setting to 3 as opposed to the torque value kept torquing out. So, but it is left-hand thread on the drive side or the pedal side. Now let's see what they put in here. Alright, I do see a little rust. Let me put the screw back in, see if that pops up. Alright, putting the screw in, the cable guide screw, and what do we have in there? Alright, I really don't see it popping up anywhere, so it looks like we're okay. Yep, just dirt, not the end of the screw. Okay, for the 2007 Trek Navigator 2, that's just something I put up because of my bar, transportation bar, where I hang it on the bike rack on the back of the car. So the 2007 Trek Navigator 2 has a, get this in the light, 122.5 millimeter cartridge, and it feels real good, and it's a sealed bearing. Now, in case you didn't know, sealed bearings are just regular bearings with the rubber piece over top of it. So I mean, you can take these all apart and deal with them. It looks like the bearing is just pressed on there. Wow, very good. And so you would take it all apart, you'd pull this bearing off, which looks pretty tough to me. This looks like a one-way deal. You would destroy the bearing or the case getting it off of there. It feels real good. It's not making any noise. So I think what I'm going to do is just clean everything up and put it back together. I'm actually pretty happy with it. Definitely going to clean out the housing, get all the rust and dirt and crap out of there too, and just reassemble. I just wanted to make another note. Actually, the whole exercise was to get this off. I wanted to clean it up. I really couldn't get in there very well. You can see my gloves getting caught and torn. So this is my real motivation, was just to get in here and clean this up really well. Alright, this is fairly large, but I'm just going to get some steel wool and just kind of get what I can out of there. I can also put it on the end of a drill bit and spin it in there if I want to. Polish it up a little bit. I might do that. Alright, I'm declaring that more better. So move on from there. Alright, on the day of this shoot, it's on sale, $1 off. $12.99 Prime on Amazing's website. So $13.99. So $14, which includes shipping. There's a sales tax. I live in Virginia, so we gotta pay that. And so there is no way. I mean, crap, I paid $40. I know I got the one tool on sale, but $40 to take this off. And only, heck, let's say $15 to put a replacement in there. And the one I looked at had the sealed bearings, so it wasn't the old ball bearings that you have to grease up every once in a while. Of course, now sealed bearings, the grease in there, you know, still dries up, the oil leaks out and all that stuff. So, but still, nonetheless, it's ridiculous to try and save these, in my opinion. Of course, you take your bike to the shop, there's no way they're gonna put a new part in because they have liability issues. So there's no way they're gonna disassemble it and grease it up and put it together. They might on one of their rentals or something, but I kind of doubt it. Alright, I'm calling that clean. I'm going to put it back together. I am going to put some oil in here, maybe some grease, to try and prevent some rust in the future. So let me goop that up. I use a waterproof grease. They call it marine grease because typically you use waterproof grease in boat applications. You'd think all grease was waterproof, but it's the paraffin. You know, grease is oil plus it's suspended. The oil is suspended in a paraffin. All right, we're all greased up, ready to go back together, and I have my clean gloves on for reassembly. This will go in here like thus, and it is left-hand thread, so instead of tightening it this way, we're going to tighten it this way. It's easier to figure out on reassembly because, you know, if it doesn't go in, you try it the other way. Alright, it looks like we're going to have a big blob of grease coming out of here. Let's see. Here we go. Not as bad as I thought it was going to be. Okay. We'll gun it down. Alright, I'm going to let it torque itself out. So I have it on 4 here, and I have it going in that direction, counterclockwise. Good enough. I think for the other side I'm going to go to 2. Okay, don't forget the other side is normal, so it would tighten up like you would normally tighten a nut or a bolt. So we'll just get this thing spun around here and tighten it down with a hand tool, or if we use a gun and upset the bicycle mechanics, I'll just put it on a low setting. But the main thing to remember is reverse the direction from the previous side install. So I'm actually down to a setting of 1, and I flip the switch. So I'll get this seated firmly. And 1 till it stops moving. So anyway, that's what I do. Don't do what I do. Back when I was a busboy, I asked some silly question, and the response from the manager was, "You know what clean looks like, don't you?" So anyway, oh, here we go. I'll inspect the teeth, see if I need a new one. I shouldn't. I didn't see anything before I took it apart. So we'll just clean this up. Also, I'm not going to grease this up. I've really struggled. Showed you the breaker bar and everything, and told you how much I hate breaker bars. They actually put me through college because they're abused, easily abused. But anyway, I'm going to put it on there, dry, and go on with life. Alright, let's see. I think I was on the smaller socket. Sprocket. I'm not completely sure. Should be plenty of chain. Oh yeah, my derailleur was sprung back. There it is. Just get the chain on there. There we go. Get the bolt on. I did keep track of which side which bolt came out of, even though that's not necessary. Alright, we'll just get this snuggalicious. Use the bolt to press it on in place. And then do the same thing on the other side. Okay, so I'll put this one on like this so that they're both pointed in the same direction. This one's forward, this one's forward. Just kidding. I just make sure they're opposite here. Okay, there we have it, all back together. And we are ready to roll. I also did a front derailleur adjustment, but I didn't show that. You can go to like, what's that, Park Tool. They have tons of videos because, you know, they're different ones. As far as the travel, the high and low screw, adjusting those, that's all I did. Just quarter turn on the low screw is what it is, all it needed. You know, he goes through the whole shebang, so it's much better than Me just showing you a quarter turn on the low screw problem solved, that doesn't help you at all. It's just entertainment. So anyway, that, as they say, is that. And thank you for watching my video.